Hi everyone, welcome to the Digital Economy Hub. I'm Laura Johnson, Principal at Wollongong Gold Coast. Today we're going to have a chat about the things that we talk to clients about when they're considering a move to cloud software and why that might be best to benefit them. So the first thing to consider is what the functionality is you're trying to replace with your current desktop or server product, and how can cloud really help you. You obviously don't want to lose any functionality, so you really just need to make sure you're getting the same thing out of it, but better integrations. So the second and main thing that we usually talk to clients about that leads to a discussion about cloud software is what we usually talk about is a customer journey analysis. So how do customers interact with your business? What are the steps in their interaction? Do they come into your store? Do they go to your website? How do they order? And then how does the order flow through your systems? So they place the order on the website. Where does it go from there? Cloud software can really assist with those steps, but you just need to consider what's the best solution. So the third thing to consider is probably the most important when thinking about cloud computing, and that's the security and location of your data. There may be federal regulations that apply to your industry about where the data has to be stored, and the other thing to consider is numerous softwares have different rules around who owns your data. So that's a really important thing to consider when choosing a piece of software, to look into the agreement with the provider as to, do you own the data or do they own it? What happens in the event of the software disappearing one day? Do you lose all of your data? And how can you protect the data for your customers, employees, suppliers? Do you need to add extra security? Do you need to use two-step authentications, which I know everyone hates? So an example of different data regulations is, for example, Office 365, Amazon and Google, which are all very similar products, have quite different regulations around who owns the data held on their site. So it's really important to consider these things when looking at a software product. So the last piece, which is probably the most exciting for us as accountants, is, does the new piece of software you're looking at integrate with your accounting software? All clients are always looking for ways to cut down on either their bookkeeping costs or their time doing their data entry. And that really makes us really excited about being able to access your data instantly. As Eric spoke about in his previous podcast, real-time data is really important for your business and you're in an e-commerce industry. So having that integration between your point of sale or website and your accounting software is really fundamental. So today's video has been a really brief summary of things to consider when looking at a cloud software. To summarize, the 4 things to consider are, what are you trying to replace in your existing system? What does your customer want out of their journey with you? What transactions are you trying to make quicker or easier or more seamless? What's the security around the data and where is it located? And lastly, you really want to get that integration with your accounting software as easily as possible. All of these questions are really specific to each customer and client, so we'd really recommend that you fill in the form below if you want to come and have a chat to us, and we can talk about your individual business. So thanks again for listening. If you want to stay tuned, there'll be heaps more great content coming up on the Digital Economy Hub of all different topics relevant to your e-commerce business.